he wanted to just coach his son, his brother, because they both love baseball that much. And my credo at home is we don't quit. You do what you need to do to get through to the next, because there's always a lesson in what's going on. So I ask the board and the coaches to ask themselves, where is their integrity? Where is their accountability for how kids are left? How do you leave children? I don't leave my child feeling bad. How do you leave? I've been in teaching. I teach at Rutgers. I taught at Rutgers for 11 years. I've been all over. Worked with the Army. I want a win-win for everybody. A win-win for the coaches, which I don't think they really give a crap, but a win-win for the kids and a win-win for the coaches and a win-win for our community. Where do we ask the question? If we are asking our kids to be accountable and to have integrity, where are we holding our teachers and our coaches? I'm out, sorry.
Mr. Malcolm Stern, also on baseball.
Hi guys, my name is Malcolm Stern. I'm a senior at Columbia High School, and I ran from my house about 5 minutes ago. It's right around the corner. I was watching this on TV and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I want to address what Marissa Tamayo said. She said that no students are here to represent themselves, and I'll be the student to represent what most players on the Columbia baseball team, the present, have wanted to say. What I want to first start off with is I know plenty of the kids here that were talking on Coach Fischetti and Coach Beck's behalf were on a winning team, and they went very far. I don't know if I know a couple of the guys went to the G&T championship, but what really defines if a coach is good or bad is how they act on a winning team versus a losing team. And I've been a part of a losing team on Columbia High School for 3 years, and it's been probably the worst time of my life. And Coach Rossetti, I went up to you after this baseball meeting and I shook your hand and I said, Coach, I'm dedicated to the team this year. But after leaving the meeting, I talked to Miss Aaron also previously, and you're talking about students advocating for themselves. I know plenty of students who advocated for themselves, but I know the investigation may have not have been completely thorough. And I know my dad's here trying to talk for me, and I appreciate that. But I really want to speak for myself because I only have 1 year at high school, and I really want to make the next, the future years better for anyone. My brother used to play baseball. He doesn't want to play this year, or he doesn't want to play anymore. But I want to make other kids have an enjoyable time playing baseball at Columbia. I told you that I was committed to the team, and that after the baseball meeting or the baseball dinner last year, you said that we would love to have you back senior year. We appreciate what you did for the team. And I was originally a starter. I won my spot in left field, and all of a sudden my confidence dipped. And I attribute a ton of that to the fact that I never felt like I had any support from the coaching staff. I remember I walked into the coach's office. I know I was one of the only players to do this. I was never afraid to talk to these guys, and I know a lot of other players were. But I walked in and I was basically, I didn't try and fight for a spot, but I asked why I was benched. And they gave me reasons, but for the rest of the year, I was basically just left. I was left for dead. I was garbage. I was put on a JV team, and they said that any junior that was on JV, don't come back and try out for senior year. But I know that I could take a spot, but I'm not going to talk to myself. It's like I don't really have anything planned because I just kind of rushed over from my house. But I never ever felt a vote of confidence, and I know plenty of other players, and I know obviously I can say that I know plenty of other players who know this or who feel the same way as me. But I don't know if they would be here to talk for themselves. And I was just in contact with a few players talking about this who were watching this on TV. And I'm sure they're surprised to see me here. But I really, truly believe that these guys, they berate players. I've been called a pussy plenty of times. I remember, this isn't even one of the guys who is coming under fire as much, but I remember Coach Maeda. I was I think sophomore year this was, and I had just come back from a very long arm injury. And Maeda, I asked to pitch one day, and he said we were in need of pitching. And Maeda said, "No, Malcolm, we want to win. You're not going to pitch. We want to win." And at the time, I was like, I went home. I was completely distraught because I came back from a year and a half. Of, they know about what I was through with the arm injury, and I just never felt any support. But I know players who've been berated to the point where they've locked themselves in a bin. And it wasn't only by the coach; it was also by one of their favorites on the team, who continues to be one of their favorites. And if he's named the captain, this just proves what the baseball program is really about. But I could talk to Miss Aaron extensively about this, and I completely respect what she has to do for the baseball program and what she's put forth. But I don't know if my plea is really. I don't know what it's going to do, to be honest, but I really, really wish you guys look in the investigation and see what I have to say, because I don't know if this is everything, but I just can't imagine kids having fun playing for these guys. And I know plenty of other parents. I saw a couple other parents speaking that were talking about how their players are growing into men, but these guys have one of them is the president of the baseball Cougar. I don't know, Bill Cray spoke. He's the president of, I don't want to name names, but I just have to say, his son is fighting for playing time. His son had the same batting average as me last year for the same amount of time, but I know he's in this position, and there's a lot of favoritism in the program, and I know that for a fact. They could always push that aside, but I know that for a fact. And I could be here and look like a total kiss ass, but I just want to say that it's not fun playing baseball here, and it's not an extracurricular. I've decided I'm not going to play baseball this year. I'm the head of Diversity Ross Club at Columbia High School. I'm peer counselor. I decided to do, I tutor. I want to do plenty of other things other than come home extremely unhappy every single day and just be angry, and I want to do any of my homework or do anything that's productive. I don't want to spend the second semester of my senior year doing this for these guys who really are just egotistical maniacs, and that's all I have to say.
Next, on park testing, we have Katie Rumley. Ms. Rumley.
Good evening. I'm Katie Rumley, and I live in Maplewood. I'm speaking on behalf of a parent group, South Orange Maplewood Parents for Quality Education. We've put together a petition, and I'm going to read it on their behalf. It has been signed by at least 67 people in the district recently, and I'll give you all copies afterwards so you can have them. We, the undersigned, are South Orange and Maplewood parents, guardians, students, and residents. We support teachers, public schools, and education as a profession. We support the South Orange Maplewood Public Schools, its teachers, and administrators. We are proud to be a part of the school district, but we have deep concerns about the upcoming park administrations that will be given in our district in March and May. We encourage you to pass policy 2622.1, parent refusal of standardized testing. There are many reasons that parents and other community members are objecting to park testing. These include, but are not limited to, number 1, questionable validity of the park as an assessment tool for college and career readiness. Number 2, hasty implementation of the test, paired with conflicting information about park and the New Jersey Department of Education. Inappropriate leveling. 3, inappropriate leveling with respect to the developmental levels of children being tested. Often, the readability is 2 grade levels above the age of the child being tested. Number 4, the cost of the technology required to administer the test. Number 5, the amount of time required to train staff to administer the test and to train children to keyboard. Number 6, technical difficulties with navigating computer interface. Number 7, lost instructional time to park, practice, and park testing. Number 8, the use of park scores to evaluate teachers. And number 9, the potential use of scores in student placement decisions, as well as number 10, data mining of children's personal information. The tests are unsuitable for assessing young children and children with special needs. The complexity of the language creates unfair and frustrating situations for any student, especially those with language-based disabilities. The high-stakes nature of this test has caused anxiety among students, teachers, and parents. Our children are being set up to fail. For these and other reasons, many parents all over New Jersey, including many in our district, have made the decision to opt out or refuse to allow the district to test their children. We understand the board's obligation to uphold the state mandate to administer the PARCC tests. The board is also obligated to uphold a parent's legal right to refuse the test for his or her children. Under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, parents possess a fundamental right to direct the upbringing, education, and care of their children. A parent's decision to refuse this test is not an easy one. It is not taken lightly, and it should not be judged. A parent's right to refuse the test for his or her child must be respected. First, we urge the board to uphold the NJ Board of Education full code of ethics to make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children and to seek and develop and maintain public schools that meet the individual needs of all children regarding their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing. This means that not only must the board respect the rights of parents to refuse the test for their children, but the board must carefully define an appropriate alternative environment outside the testing room that will respect the rights of every testing student and non-testing student. No student should be forced to sit and stare at a computer for the duration of the test session. We urge the board to write a well-defined, humane, and child-centered policy that removes every non-testing student from the testing environment, including students whose parents have refused the test, and allows them to stay in an alternative location. This is consistent with PARCC policy, which states that non-testing students should not be in the testing room. We've previously provided you with the screenshots of the PARCC manual, which states these policies. As such, the best placement for a non-testing student is outside of the room with alternative materials. Commissioner Hess stated that every district should apply its own policies. Presently, there are 143 districts in the state of New Jersey that have already put into place humane, child-centered, and non-sit-and-stare refusal policies. Every student, testing and non-testing, in every school in South Orange and Maplewood should be treated with the same level of consideration and respect. Also, our group, the South Orange Parents for Quality Education, as well as the South Orange Maplewood Education Association, will be holding a showing of Standardized this Thursday evening at the South Orange Public Library at 7, and we invite you all to attend. Thank you.
Okay, next is Alyssa Malaspina, also on PARCC.
Hello, everybody. First off, I would like to, I know I'm on PARCC, I will talk on PARCC in a second, but as a parent in the district and also as a person who went through IB training and was a professional in the district previously, I agree with everything that Maplewood said about it, the teachers who spoke out against this, and now you have heard from Maplewood Middle School teachers and South Orange Middle School teachers on the same issue. I just don't know how long you guys can continue to sit there and not do anything when you have heard from both schools over a period of time about this. Now back to PARCC, which is why I'm originally here. My son spoke out about it previously at the last board meeting, and I wrote my letter of refusal, and I do have to thank Mr. Memoli and the board for getting back to me quickly and answering every question that I have had about it. You have been very responsive. I still do have some questions, though, that have not been addressed. And the biggest question I have is